Welcome to the Good Christian Podcast, formerly known as the Paradigm Shift Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Sanfilippo, and today I'm just going to explain a little bit as to why we decided to change our name. Now, as many of you know, Paradigm Shift, the name for the podcast, came directly from our website, which is dailyps.com. And just so you know, our website name is not going to change at all. That is still going to be dailyps.com. But we decided we wanted to increase our reach however we could with the podcast. You see, our podcast was getting a lot of traffic, which was coming directly from our blog. But as far as actual organic hits directly from iTunes and the podcast app, we weren't really getting too much engagement. And I did quite a bit of research and wanted to figure out if there's something we could do a little bit differently to really increase that. So with some time and quite a bit of learning, we found that naming it the Good Christian Podcast increased our organic traffic by over 90% overnight, virtually, which is incredible. So it's so good to see so many more people getting reached by it. So if this is your first episode that you're listening to right now, this is not the normal flow, which you will find out next month. We'll have a new intro, new outro, and all that. Same flow, though. It's going to be me interviewing somebody that's really hitting a topic that is really important for Christianity to be covering. Actually, our next topic is going to be identity, which it's going to be a huge episode. We've actually already recorded it. We're going to get it all ready to go for next month, and it's going to be phenomenal. It's a game changer. So anyway, staying on topic with today, I kind of wanted to share a little bit more of our vision, as I do think that's important, and I haven't done that since the first episode. So that was 19 episodes ago. We did 19 episodes of the Paradigm Shift Podcast. So this is number 20, which is when we're going to change it to the Good Christian Podcast. So I kind of want to explain that real quick. As you might have seen in the description, we're not necessarily claiming to be good Christians all the time, but this is always a good podcast for Christians to listen to. And we're going to be focused on the same thing we've always been focused on, which is positivity and love. So that's really the main reason we wanted to change this, is just so we could reach more people and be more of a positive influence and express and show more love to people. So for us, it's not just about reaching more people, it's about helping more people. That is what we've always been about. Anyone who's been following dailyps.com for some time, you know that not one of us gets paid to do this. There's all volunteer-based, all writers that are just doing this out of the kindness of their heart and just wanting to help people. And we've really wanted to keep it this way. We've never monetized it all, which some people tell me and tell the team that we're crazy for not trying to do this. But really, anytime that we've even entertained the idea, we've not felt peace about it, because we know that our desire is just to help people, and we don't want any sort of wrong heart getting in there at all. So we're going to continue doing that. And again, it's not just about reaching more people, it's about helping more people. And we know that our content has really affected a lot of lives. And because of this, that's why we decided, you know what, we're going to rebrand the podcast and see if we can reach more people. So I'm excited again to say it's over 90% more people that we're already reaching through this. So if you're one of the faithful listeners since day one, though, thank you so much. I pray that you continue to stay with us through this transition and change, and we continue just to change more lives. So I kind of wanted to just focus on the love side of things for a minute here, because I'm realizing more and more, as I'm sure you are as well, the world around us is becoming less and less loving. There's a lot of hatred in the world. People really just don't like each other right now. And a lot of that's based around politics, which, as some of you may know, I've written about quite a few times. And don't worry, to our content manager, Virginia, I'm not going to turn this into a political podcast. So I'm sure she would love to be able to hear that. She's probably already a little bit nervous about me doing this episode completely by myself. But I kind of want to just share a little bit about how politics has really divided us. And that's kind of been one of the big themes. But so many different people have just found reasons to dislike another type of person, or somebody of a different race or gender even. And it's really just been a terrible thing. And it's nothing that I'm ever going to stand for. And that's, again, one of our reasons for this change. We want to love people more. We want to express that love more. So I want to kind of just remind everybody with this episode, it's going to be very short, but what are you doing to love those around you? God has placed people in your life, saved, unsaved, churched, unchurched, different religions, all different types of people around us. And the Bible never really says love them or love people if they're this or if they're that. The Bible just says to love people. I think all of us as Christians, we've got to really step it up and do a better job than we've been doing. Love is not necessarily something that is optional when it comes to our faith in Christ. It's something that we have to do. It's something He's required us to do. And really, if we're truly saved the way we say we are, love has got to be what is outpouring in us. People have got to be able to see that if we're feeling the same hatred towards other people as they're feeling towards us, that's a big issue, and that's something we got to go and check our hearts with. So real quick, I want to share an encouraging story actually about somebody who wrote into Daily PS and just kind of share a little bit of a testimony that they kind of went through. And this was a lady, I'm going to leave names out and all that, but it was somebody who told us that she was in an abusive relationship, and that it was a physically abusive relationship and verbally as well. And she had been in it for years and just never really did anything about it, just kind of, I guess, was scared about what could possibly happen. And when she emails us months after this all happened, but she read something on dailyps.com, and something that she read really encouraged her and motivated her that it was time to get out of that relationship and to move on. And what she did is she actually had already moved out by the time she emailed us and said that her life did a complete 180, completely different person. And she said it was all thanks to something that was posted on dailyps.com. Now that right there to me makes everything that we do worth it. That's the type of love we want to express to people, to let them know that they're not alone no matter what they're going through. And that's just a really encouraging story. And I hope that all of us as believers, we can be that for our neighbor and the people that are around us, that we can express that type of love, that they feel like they can take next steps in their lives and they can maybe even come to know Jesus in a way they haven't before, just because of the way that we're living our lives. So I kind of just want to keep this really brief, like I said, but I wanted to make sure to share that love is what we've got to be all about. It's more important than anything else, really, that as believers that we can do, that we can operate our lives in. The Bible talks about loving God and loving people. Those are the two greatest commandments. It says loving God and loving people. That's what Jesus said are the two main things. So I want to encourage you with that, to make sure that that is what's overflowing out of your heart. Are people seeing love in you? Regardless of what their political stance is or any other thing, do people actually see that you love and care about them? And I'm telling you, when you really do, and you're really doing things with the right motives, things like this testimony that we heard, that's what happens in your life. Those are the type of things, that's the fruit that you see. So I want everyone to kind of think about that. What does your life look like? What does your love look like? And I want to leave you with that one. So I know that normally this is like an interview podcast, and they're normally a lot longer than this. Well, not really, double the time here, maybe 20 minutes. And again, next month we'll have like an intro and outro, so it'll sound a little bit different. But for this first one, I just wanted to really explain the reason for the change, but also just give that reminder to everyone who's listening. So I hope this was encouraging to you today, and that you can kind of take this and apply it in your life. I don't want it just to be a quick episode that people listen to. I really want to hear some great testimonies about love and how you've been able to implement it in your life with your friends, the people you work with, your neighbors, and all those things. So again, thank you so much for your continued support. And this is now the Good Christian Podcast. I'm excited to continue to be your host. Again, I'm Alex Sanfilippo. For more on this, you can go to podcast.dailyps.com. We'll have some show notes and things like that, and some more resources for you there. But thank you so much for continuing to listen. And for all of our new listeners, which apparently is a 94% increase at this point, I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited about our next episode and what we've got going on the rest of the year and into 2019. So thank you again for listening, and I'll see you all back here next month.